Your phone buzz it's home. Before you even open the message, some part of you already knows someone needs something. School fees are due, rent is short, a hospital bill, a funeral contribution, an emergency that can't wait. And because you love your family, because that's who you are, and that's how you were raised, you don't hesitate. You send it immediately. No question. I want to be very clear from the first minute of this video because this is a tender subject. I'm not going to be careless with it. There is nothing wrong with that instinct. It's one of the most beautiful things about who we are. The willingness to carry your family across an ocean, to feel their needs as your own, to never let a relative sink while you are standing. That is not to be fixed. It's a form of love, and the world will be better with more of it. But love without a strategy can quietly destroy the person doing the loving. And that's what this video is about. Not standing less, not caring less, not building walls against the people who raise you. It's about how to keep helping your family, really helping them without becoming everybody's permanent retirement plan and without staying broke yourself for the next 20 years. Because there is a way to help that funds survival forever and a way to help that builds stability and eventually removes the emergencies altogether. Let me show you the difference gently but honestly. Let me honor why we send the way we send. Because if you don't understand it, you will never change it kindly. We send emotionally because the need is emotional. It's not a spreadsheet on the other end of the phone. It's your mother, your sibling, the aunt who raised you, the community that shaped you. When they hurt, you hurt. So when the request comes, it goes straight past the part of your brain that plans and lands directly in the part that loves. You send before you think because thinking feels like you're putting a price on people you love. And who wants to do that? Nobody talks about this out loud either. A lot of diasporans carry this financial pressure completely silently. You don't tell your colleagues abroad that a chunk of every paycheck crosses an ocean before you have paid your own bills. You don't tell your family back home how tight it actually is on your end because you don't want to worry or because you made it abroad and admitting the struggle feels like failing them. So you carry it alone in silence month after month. And here is the painful truth I have to say because someone needs to. If you keep solving emergencies without ever building anything underneath them, you can become the retirement plan for everybody forever. Sit with that because it's the trap. When help only ever arrives as emergency cash, it treats the symptom and never the cause. The school fees get paid, but next term there are fees again and no plan for how they will be met without you. The rents get covered, but the rent is due again next month and every month after, and it's still on you. You are pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it, and the pouring never ends because nobody ever fixes the hole. And the longer it goes on, the more the whole family quietly reorganizes itself around the assumption that you will always be the source. Their survival plan becomes you. Someone described their own wake up moment like this: the realization they were founding survival instead of creating stability. That one sentence reframes everything, because those are the two completely different jobs. And most of us have only ever done the first one. Let me show you the second. Here is the whole shift, and it's not about the amount you send, it's about what the money does when it lands. Founding survival is emergency cash for an immediate need. It keeps someone alive this month. It's necessary sometimes. I'm not saying never do it, but on its own, it creates dependency because the need always returns and the money always runs out. Founding stability is money that reduces future needs. It's aimed at the hole in the bucket, not the water level. Same love, same family. But instead of solving today's emergency and bracing for the next month's, you are building something that makes the emergencies smaller, rarer, and eventually unnecessary. What does founding stability actually look like? Instead of endless cash transfers, smart diasporans redirect some of the same money towards things that generate stability on the other end. A small income generating project a relative can run so they can earn instead of only receiving. Education on a skill that makes someone employable. Land or a modest business that produces income. A system, even a simple one, that reduces dependency over time. You are not cutting your family off. You are changing the help from a drip that never ends into a ladder they can climb. Let me give you one person, a composite, but I have seen this exact act. A diaspora who for years sent monthly emergency money to a sibling, faithfully, lovingly, and the siblings stay exactly as dependent as they want because the money only ever covered the crisis in front of them. Then our diasporan changed the form. Same money roughly, but redirected it into helping that sibling start a small trade instead. It was harder at first. It required trust, some setbacks, patience, but within a couple of years, the sibling was earning, and the monthly emergency calls slowed, then mostly stopped. Not because the love decreased, because the dependency did. That's the goal. Not less help, better help. Help with an exit built into it. Now, founding stability often means investing back home. And that's where a whole second danger lives. Let me protect you from it. Because here is what happens every single year to good people with good intentions. They decide to build something back home and they lose the money. Not because investing back home is a bad idea, because invested blindly. Money gets poured into rush projects and verified land deals, a relative business idea that was never really a plan, and finished buildings that swallow money for years, partnerships with no clear terms, and later the money is simply gone. Sometimes the relationship is gone with it. And often the reason is the same emotional reflex we started with. The money went in fast, driven by feelings, by trust, by not wanting to insult family by asking for details. Someone put their own hard lesson plainly. I lost thousands trying to impress people with a big project. Emotion creates rash decisions, and rash decisions back home are where diaspora money goes to die. So here is how the strategic ones do it differently. And none of this is about distracting your family. It's about protecting everyone, including the relationship. So here are the steps you take. First, verify before you send. Documents, ownerships, the actual facts on the ground. Real verification, not a phone call and a feeling. Two, use clear agreements, even with family, especially with family. Written terms protect the relationship as much as the money because they remove the ambiguity that later turns into. Three, start small and test before you scale. Don't put your life savings into an proven project to look impressive. Put a little in, see if it works, then you grow it. Four, track it. Know where the money actually goes. Not I sent and hope. That's not investment. It's a donation with extras. And now the specific mistake that costs diasporans more than almost any other. Property versus cash flow. Owning property back home sounds like the ultimate success. The big house in the home country is the dream, is the status symbol, it's proof you made it. And so a lot of diasporans buy emotionally. They build the impressive house. Here is what nobody tells them. Not every property creates wealth. Some properties only create costs. That big status house, it often sits empty most of the year. It needs maintenance, security, upkeep, money flowing out constantly for something that produces nothing and sometimes isn't even safe from being encroached on. It's not an asset, it's an expensive liability with a beautiful footage. And if you saw video 2, you will recognize exactly what that is. The performance trap gone international. The wealthy asks one different question. Does this property generate income? A small, modest income producing property, such as a shop, a rental unit, something that pays you every month, will often build far more real wealth than a big empty status house that drains you. Someone admitted to me exactly, I bought a house to impress people and it became a financial burden. Later, he shifted towards income generating investments instead, and that changed everything. Cash flow over status every time. So, let me pull all of this into one approach. I call it helping with a system instead of helping on impulse. Here is how you actually do it this month. One, decide your support budget in advance. Before the requests come, decide what you can genuinely give each month without sinking yourself. This isn't cold, it's the opposite. A budget means you can give sustainably for years instead of generously for a while and then burning out or resenting it. The pilot who runs out of fuel helps no one land. Two, split your giving into two buckets: relief and stability. Keep some for genuine emergencies, relief given with an open heart, but deliberately move some towards stability projects that reduce future need. Even a small shift from one bucket to bucket 2 start closing the hole in the bucket. 3, For anything that's an investment, apply the rules. Verify. Agree terms. Start small. Track it. Choose cash flow over status. Slow money survives, rush money. Now I've kept this practical, but the honest truth is that the hardest part of this isn't the spreadsheets, it's the conversations. How do you tell a relative, not this month, without guilt tearing you apart? How do you shift a whole family's expectation from cash to system without it feeling like a rejection? How do you set a boundary and still be the loving son, daughter, sibling you want to be? That emotional navigation, the scripts, the mindsets, the balance between love and is a big part of what I go deep on in my book, The Diaspora Gold Mine Principle. It's linked below the video if you want that full out guidance because it deserves more room than one video like this. But you can start tonight for free. Decide your monthly support budget. Just that. The number you can give for years without sinking. That single decision changes the whole dynamic because now you are giving from a plan instead of from panic. I want to hear from you on this one. I am asking for real honesty because this is genuinely the hardest balance in diaspora life. How do you handle money and family back home? No judgment here, none. Whether you send everything and keep nothing, whether you have set boundaries and carry guilt about it, whether you have been burned investing back home, tell me because someone reading your comment is carrying the exact same weight and thinks they are the only one. This is the lonely that can help them for the rest of your life. Thank you for watching.